Breaking news now. Facilitating Putin's embrace of Niger. Yevgeny Prigozhin, leader of the Russian Wagner mercenaries, has backed a military junta that has overthrown Mohamed Bazoum, Niger's democratically elected president. Bazoum and his family are still being held captive in their home under extremely dangerous conditions as of Sunday afternoon. To help Moscow increase its threats against NATO allies, Poland, and the Baltic nations, Prigozhin has turned to Belarus. He led the bizarre military march on Russia before abruptly ending the mission. Even though the fallout from that Wagner spectacle is still being felt, Putin's decision to keep Prigozhin alive and in the fold shows how highly he values Wagner's exploits, which included those in Africa. There are many different peoples and histories on the African continent. Africa's people have shown incredible resilience in the face of horrific tragedies. They've embraced advances in healthcare and technology, and they've seen brief periods of successful democratic governance. Natural resources abound, and the continent's economic potential is huge. Niger has the highest growth rate of any country in the region. A vibrant hub of youth and vitality, but also a breeding ground for brutal violence and the exploitation of the defenseless. Africa is a thriving center of Islamist violence and a launching pad for the export of terrorism around the world. The United States and its global alliance system are in the midst of a new Cold War with its two main enemies, China and its junior partner Russia. For their own benefit, at the expense of the West and with callous disregard for the African people, the China-Russian axis has taken a keen interest in exploiting fragile African nations. From Europe to the Middle East to the Arctic, every authoritarian expansionist country has plans to weaken American influence around the world. The People's Republic of China, PRC, and Russia exploit weak governments and stoke violence in order to weaken U.S. influence, break up Western alliances, and enrich themselves. The United States' concern for peace in Africa is not recent. Remember that in 2017, under the Trump administration, American Green Berets were killed in Niger. It was necessary at the time to remind the public and some legislators who should have known better of the significance of Niger's stability to American interests across the region. There is no single American administration responsible for the continued U.S. military presence in Niger or the interest shown by that country's leaders. A democratically elected government in Niger that is open to U.S. assistance and guidance has been a long-standing, tangible U.S. interest. Niger is an important ally for the United States in the fight against terrorism and the spread of Islamist militant groups like Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa. However, the United States lacks a security and diplomatic strategy that takes Africa into account within the context of a long Cold War with the People's Republic of China and the Russian axis. This recent unraveling and the U.S. approach to it over the last few years should serve as a wake-up call, but the U.S. effort there has always been incoherent and tenuous. Niger's government, like those of many other countries in the region, was constantly threatened with violent overthrow by militia-organized coups backed by larger and more powerful actors. Yet just recently, Secretary of State Antony Blinken naively referred to Niger as a model of resilience, a model of democracy, a model of cooperation. U.S. policy has played right into Russia's hands, while Russia has used anti-Western messaging to turn African populations against the United States and Western allies. Just look at the UN General Assembly to see that several African nations have voted against or abstained from condemning Russia's war in Ukraine. For instance, the LGBTQ movement has been central to the foreign policy initiatives of the Biden administration. Hectoring countries with traditional social structures and cultures about social policies that are controversial even in the West has backfired, as scholar Michael Rubin has so ably outlined. Furthermore, the United States' economic vision for the African Union has been driven by climate ideology and the teaching of coding to Africans, which is a questionable sell to a continent with pressing and fundamental needs. In a purely self-interested move, China and Russia propose building bridges, constructing roads, and providing security, all while avoiding the spread of left-wing ideology. For starters, Washington needs to realize that the promise of freedom, self-determination, national sovereignty, and domestic security remains a far more appealing vision for African nations than the abuse provided by China and Russia. To realize this vision, however, the United States must stop pushing leftist agendas and instead focus on promoting stability and its own interests in the region. The influence of China and Russia in Africa is growing. Will the United States simply watch this unfold?